Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. If you're one of my regular viewers, you already know this is part of the Van Halen triple shot. And in my last review, I covered David Lee Roth's first album with the band. Now I am going to cover what was originally his last album with the band. I don't remember if they did. Yeah, they did do an album after again. Yeah, I think. I'll have to check. As I'm babbling, I know that in post production, I'm Google searching. So the answer is. So the original last album, then I'm going to stick with that for them, Van Halen's 1984. Now, 1984, for some weird reason, tends to be viewed as their best album. But when I threw it on yesterday while I was cleaning the house, I threw it on and then I cranked it the fuck up, okay? I really gave her because I was doing a lot of work around the house. And I'm really listening to the album as I'm going. And this album is not as good as the first Van Halen album. Not even close to as good as the first Van Halen album. It's got some great tracks, but the album as a whole, not really. So let's get into this. First, the album opens up in 1984. I like it, 1984. Most people that'll complain about this album will complain about it because it was the introduction of the synth era of Van Halen. I didn't mind the synth era of Van Halen because Eddie knows how to play piano and keyboards and synths in a way that works for the songs. 1984 is a really cool tune. I really dig it. 1984 really kind of sets the mood and atmosphere, I think, going into this album as well. I really get into it. That's my cats moving around, tripping me out, thinking someone's about to walk in and screw up my recording. But I think 1984 is a really cool way to start the album off. And to have that followed up by Jump, the legendary Jump! Oh, go ahead and jump, jump! I'm not jumping. Jump! Alright. I think it's a great way to get the album going. 1984 is a really cool synth thing going on. That'll throw a lot of people off, but right away it'll bring them into Jump, which either grabs them or keeps them thrown off. Now, me personally, as much as I compliment Eddie's synth stuff or stuff like that, I've never been a fan. Don't get me wrong, Jump's a fun song. If I'm at a concert or show, stuff like that, Jump comes on. Obviously, it's gonna be a fun song. You're gonna enjoy it, right? On its own as a song, it's not something that would ever go on my playlist on its own. It's a little too poppy for me. It's a little too, I want to say synthy. I do. But it's still a fantastic tune. It still deserves all the praises it gets. It also, to me, was a little bit overplayed. The reality is when I started watching music videos in the mid to late 80s, and at that point, Jump had been out for a while. This album was released in 83. I started watching videos in around 88 regularly. I was watching videos before 88, but even going into 88, I started watching videos more regularly. I was listening to the radio all the time. So, I knew this music. My dad listened to a lot of music stations. Detroit, Rock City, I had a lot of rock radio. Van Halen got played a lot. You couldn't go without this. So, Jump kind of got a little overplayed for me. And it's really funny because I could make the exact same argument about the next song, and a lot of people would make the same argument about the next song, but I really dig the next song. It's my favorite song on this album. It's also one of my favorite Van Halen songs in general, definitely one of my top 10 Van Halen songs, and that is Panama. Oh yeah, I absolutely love Panama, and I love Panama for multiple reasons. One is I really love the layering of the song, and I really love that breakdown section in the middle, man. I really like that, when it gets really, maybe it's getting a little bit hot tonight. You can barely see the road from the steam coming out. When you get into that breakdown, I really love that part, And but the whole way around, it's this great party song that kind of has this fun little weird breakdown section in the middle where it gets kind of a little bit sexy and dark and dirty, and then all of a sudden it's back into Panama, Panama. Great tune, a really fun tune. I absolutely just get into it. All right, now we get into the first song that really doesn't get a lot of radio play unless someone's going for a deep cut and they're being lazy going for a deep cut. You get into Top Jimmy. Top Jimmy's not a bad tune, but when you look at everything that Van Halen had already released at that point, at this point, this was their fifth album with David. Can't remember, once again. I'm relying on my afterwards here. And Top Jimmy, it's just kind of cliche, kind of Van Halen. There's really nothing special about it. And the same thing comes with the next track too, Drop Dead Legs. Drop Dead Legs, there's really... Like, to give you an example, if you look at a song like Van Halen doing Drop Dead Legs, and you compare it to ZZ Top's Legs, which I believe was the exact same year, it's got nothing on ZZ Top's Legs. I'm sorry, but nothing. 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 And they don't have Eddie Van Halen. They got Billy Gibbons. All right. After that, we get into Hot for Teacher. Oh, Hot for Teacher. Okay, so... Hot for Teacher. First off, that video... Yeah, I've definitely cranked a few knuckle rockets to that video as a kid. Ooh, man. Softcore porn for kids on TV, man. Whew, early teenagers. We owe you guys for that one. Ooh, man, those chicks. Whoa! Man, wished I had teachers like that. One, maybe two? They got close. Anyways, Hot for Teacher is a great song. Now, for me, obviously, the part for Hot for Teacher that I have to talk about is the drum intro. And it's a really cool intro. I really like it. Here's the thing, though. As cool as it is, were it not for how heavy it is on the double kick drum, if you went down to a single kick drum, as in, not playing double kick on a single kick. I mean, instead of having a double kick, you went down to just single kick. So, we'll say that he's going in an eighth note. So if you went down to just quarter note, it starts losing its appeal quickly. And it's cool that, it sounds really cool, and I really love it going into Hot for Teacher. It's a great intro. I really kind of wish that when they did the music video for Hot for Teacher, they would have had the drum part in there as well at the beginning. I think it would have been great. But it's not anything... As far as drum solos go, it's not anything spectacular. As far as cool drumming craziness goes, is it Billion Dollar Babies? Hell no. Why? Because it's... basically he's going double bass drum, and then he's just hitting the toms and the cymbals and stuff like that in a progression as he goes. It's not a complicated thing to do. Am I going to try and replicate it to show that it's not a complicated thing? No, because it's something you got to kind of warm up and practice for a little bit. When I regularly did warm up and practice, are there times where I replicated it? You're damn straight. It was one of my favorite things to kind of go to as a warm-up for practicing when I needed to loosen my arms up because of how many toms I like to play with and how many cymbals I have. it's a great limb loosener for that reason, because you get the legs moving, and it's not overly fast. It's not crazy. You're not going to burn out your legs. Realistically, if you really wanted, you could do it on a single. Now, the inflections, catching Alex's personal inflections, that's where the tricky part comes in. Because there's playing it straight, and then there's playing it like Alex. Or there's playing it like yourself, playing it straight, and playing it like Alex. Playing it straight meaning you're just trying to do the best you can to replicate it as much as you can. That was my warm-up methodology, was to try and not replicate Alex's little nuances, like how he would overhit on certain notes or underhit on certain notes. On the double bass drum especially, because it's not 100% fluidic the whole entire way through or consistent. And it's not that each one of those little nuances were done on purpose. They're just his style of playing. If you actually listen to the style of playing, you can hear it in other spots. But I really dig the way he gets into it. I really love the way he does it. It's a great intro for Hot for Teacher. And Hot for Teacher itself, I love it because as much as I was kind of, if you go and watch my video for Van Halen, I kind of rip a little bit on David when he kind of gets in that showmanship where he's kind of channeling the Rat Pack. Now, this song really does kind of channel that Rat Pack mentality as well, but it channels it kind of in a different way. It's kind of like, to me, Hot for Teacher is kind of like when Alice Cooper does Some Folks on Welcome to My Nightmare, where it's got that kind of, that show, the old-fashioned 50s show swing kind of element to a little bit of a jazz kind of groove to it, get up there and, hey, baby, let's get in the videos, hey, yeah, groovy cats. Sorry, that was not supposed to be a Sammy Davis Jr. impression. I realize it sounded like that as I'm saying it. My apologies, that was not supposed to be like that at all. Okay, but Hot for Teacher is really cool, and musically on this album, Panama and Hot for Teacher are the two that really, to me, stand out the best. 1984 is cool, but the ones that really pop, and coincidentally, those are two of the three singles. So when the singles were picked for this album, they were picked for good reasons. After that, you get into I'll Wait. All Wait is one of those tracks that you just kind of, it's really, I do actually enjoy All Wait when I'm listening to the album. And it's really kind of cool. But once again, when you've gotten this far into Van Halen, it's just kind of a filler Van Halen song. It doesn't feel like it's anything standout or special. Girl Gone Bad also it kind of falls in that it doesn't feel like it's anything special compared to what Van Halen's done before. I do like Girl Gone Bad a little bit more though, only because I do like that. I don't want to say that it's kind of a celebration. I don't like that it's not a celebration of a girl going bad. It's kind of more, to me, feels more like a mourning of a girl going bad, which this would have been Eddie Van Halen and Valerie Bertinelli together as a time, I think, Touched by an Angel, So the idea of a girl gone bad, I mean, if it was Valerie Bertinelli, her going bad, man, whoo. And, it's, depending on how you want to look at the song, you can look at it as Girl Gone Bad as in, the good girl going bad girl, but just for fun. And if you want to look at it that way, it's not bad. If you look at it as a good girl gone bad, as in, just totally losing their way, gone bad, blah, 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 then it's kind of a little more of a pity, but still at the same time, I'll admit, guys like a bad girl just as much as girls like a bad boy. They're fun. But that's it, they're just fun. They're not permanent, right? All right, and the album finishes off with House of Pain. House of Pain. I really dig House of Pain when the album is playing. When the album is not playing, I blank. And that's kind of how I'm going to leave it, really, with... I'm not saying that House of Pain's a bad song. I'm just saying that I don't think of it outside of the album. When the album's playing, it's great it's a great song, but outside of that, no. Is there a good reason why this is David Lee Roth's last album? Yes, this is a good reason why. Did it have some of their biggest hits? Absolutely had some of their biggest hits. Is this, I think, their biggest selling album with David Lee Roth? Definitely, I think it is. I'd have to double check. Does it deserve to be? No. Definitely not. The first Van Halen album by far is a superior album to this one. By far. And once again, it has nothing to do with the synth work because I like all the synth stuff on 5150. You know, so it's not a synth issue, you know, it's just this album itself was, that time of Van Halen was tired and over. That's really, this is how this album is. To me, it's a tired and over album that had a few really good hits on the way out. It's like Alice Cooper's Muscle of Love that way. Although I would rate Alice Cooper's Muscle of Love a lot higher than I'd rate this. Realistically, you're looking at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tracks on here. Really? Come on. Sometimes it's nice to have the numbers on the back for when we're doing stuff like this. Out of 9 tracks. So if we were giving a score out of 9, personally, I would score this album as a 4, maybe a 5. Because I'll definitely give it Panama and Hot for Teacher. I will allow Jump for the commercial success for Jump. I dig 1984 as an instrumental piece. And House of Pain is a cool way to end the album. Like there are tracks on here that people will dig. So when I say I'm giving it like a 5 out of 9, that's really just me bored of Van Halen on this album. That's really what it is. Anyways, okay, I'm going to cut it there. Because I'm sure I've pissed off enough people. Leave me your comments. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Peace, love, and take care.